Hello viewer, what I've got here today is a motherboard from a PC that a work colleague has asked me to have a look at. It's powering up but not posting. So the first thing I noticed when I got it was a lot of dust. So I don't know if you can see in there. There's a lot of dust inside that CPU. Generally, that's not going to cause a problem for it to post, but obviously, if it's been really hot, that can cause an issue. There's also a fair bit of dust on the back, which you add that to a little bit of humidity, that can cause it to not to post. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go through and do a little bit of a cleanup. Nothing too drastic, and just want to show you basically some maintenance that is recommended if you've got a PC. One thing you have to remember is that pretty much any computer, laptop included, is a vacuum cleaner, because you have your exhaust fans typically about here, your power supply typically around up here, and what they're both doing is they're both exhausting air from here to outside. And obviously when that happens, there needs to be air from outside coming in, and that air will have dust and hair and all the rest of it, all that lovely stuff. So you do need to clean your computers, and just a simple, not touching anything, but just a simple vacuum over here every now and then would stop this build-up from occurring, which will definitely extend the life. And especially if you run it over your power supply, that will also extend your life of your computer. In fact, the most common thing that I tend to fix is when it's coming into summer is power supplies. If someone contacts me and say, hey, my computer stopped, I'll go, power supply. And generally speaking, that's the case. So while I'm here, I'm also going to replace this grease, this heat transfer grease. It's a little bit crusty and hard. So, I mean, it would have still been working, but hey, some new stuff is going to be better than the old stuff. So, I'm going to do a visual. So, when I'm doing just a visual check, what I'm looking for is I'm looking at these caps. These ones are generally okay. These are high quality, expensive ones. These ones here are your run-of-the-mill ones. So, I'm just having a look to see if any of them have expanded or show signs of releasing, and they seem okay. Obviously you can't tell if they're dry, but you would sort of go with a board of this age, you know, because we're not talking about something that's ancient here. The odds are is it's probably okay. Certainly a lot of dust, so I'll deal with you later. What did I put a sticker on it? Shot. Hide that nice shiny update. So what I have is a brush that I will handle to ground, because obviously you got to consider static. Now I'm also going to pop the RAM chips out. And carefully handle them. Now, something I do see in a lot of videos, sorry, I'll move the board close, is people just grabbing components and going grab, touchy, touchy, touchy. Try and keep your fingers off these pins. Yep. And the other thing I see is people putting them down onto mats and carpet, I've even seen, you know, when people are selling these things on Trade Me, they'll go and put them on the floor, put these on the floor, put this on the floor, and go and take photos of them. And I say, yeah, I'm not buying that. You know, I'm not going to buy something that's been sitting on the floor, probably static till get out. Yeah, no, let's give that a miss. So I'm just going to give gentle brush. I mean, we're not trying to give something a massage here, a brush massage. So just a gentle brush all the way around. You'll notice that when I'm holding it, I'm always picking it up on something that's either an edge or it's metal. So let's get that off. And you might think something like this, it's not going to cause a problem. Add a bit of humidity to that, it's going to cause a problem. So I don't know if you can see the dust coming off the board, but I can. Now, something I see here, I don't know if it's a moulding thing or a scratch, but I do see some sort of circular mark there. I think it's probably in the coating. Now, I'm going to touch here, but notice I'm just going to touch this part. Yeah, no, it's actually dirt. It's actually dirt, which is interesting that there is dirt there. So I may even pop off the CMOS battery and give it a little brush over with some isopropyl as well. But I'll try it at that state first. So if you're wondering about dust, there's dust. So those little bits of dust as well, these things, they come off this as well as all this. So there we go. That's dust on a motherboard. So don't blow it. All you're doing when you blow it is adding moisture. So don't blow it. So I'm happy to call that dust cleanish. Not perfect, but I'd be happy to give that a go. Now, it is highly unlikely that the CPU has been misseated, because this has been a working machine. So again, carefully, I'm going to take that off. That looks good. Ooh. Now again, very carefully. Okay. Okay, so there was a little bit of in-grease in there, possibly just fell in there as I was taking it out, though one would think not. So that's okay. I'm going to gently put that back into position. You never want to leave these things bare. So if you're not going to put a CPU cover on that, leave the CPU in it to protect the board. Otherwise, yeah, prone to damage, easily damaged. Right, that's looking good. Just move that to one side, and we'll bring this filthy thing out. So just gently pulling that off, and have a look at that. Yeah, that's not brilliant. So I'm going to use a little fine screwdriver to begin with, and just peel all that dust off. There we go. There we go. That's our little CPU vacuum cleaner. So I'm just being gentle here because A, I don't want to kick up a lot of dust everywhere. And B, I mean, this is a very fine brush, but you know, obviously some people do use brushes of a rougher nature. So just carefully. It's quite tuneful. Okay. So again, there's your dust. Right. And not only impacting on the heatsink, but also the efficiency of your fan. So this dust here is obviously going to cut down the thermal efficiency of the fan, increase the load on the fan motor, and increase noise. Generally it won't unbalance because, you know, as you can see there, it's quite an even spread. But again, just carefully, because obviously if I went and just went brush, I could get dust all over my nice clean motherboard again. Well, I should say not mine, but the motherboard again. There you go. So I won't say I'm a dust freak, but you know, that's a fair bit of dust there, and basically where it shouldn't be. Oh, if you're wondering what I'm using there, it's isopropyl. Get this from a local Filipino shop. They have this, it's great, really good for cleaning, and it's what I'll use to clean this heat grease off. So here's another thing as well, is this heat grease is toxic. So try not to get your mitts all over it. There we go. So that's cleaned off. I'll bring our motherboard back. Just make sure it dries. It's pretty electrically safe, the isopropyl. Obviously there's always a chance that, you know, it can damage some plastics or compounds, but if I'm dealing with a board that has actually got substantial water damage, not salty water, you'll see what I mean by that in a shortcoming video, then it's actually quite good for cleaning the board down. And it's also what I would consider doing next if this doesn't post now, is just because of the markings I saw on the back that may indicate that there's been some humidity moisture on it, that I would do that as well. So there we go, that's a nice shiny topped i7. I'll just flick some of that paste off and clean it down. And I'm always using the isopropyl to clean my desk. It's just nice to have a clean surface, you know, when you start the next little project. So bedded, clean, cleanish. Right. So the next thing is, I'll just pause you. Right, I'm back. Had to do a little bit of rummage to find my paste. So, oh no, don't tell me I'm out. As he squeezes too hard and squishes it everywhere. There we go. So, this is where I see a lot of people grab their fingers and go spudgy, spudgy, spudgy. So I'm not going to do that. As much as I'm tempted to right there. Okay. So we've got our paste on. I'll put this back into position. Okay, it's all nicely clipped in. Okay. So we'll clip this into the board. Let's make sure we're fully extended, eh? Oh, that will help. Okay. Okay. Just squeeze these over just to, bearing in mind, I mean, they've spent their life being squeezed one way. So there's always one. So there we go. Right. Push, push, and now we'll lock. Okay, so push, lock. So we are all securely seated. Yep. Just check on the R side as well. And now, doesn't that look so much better than it did before? Next. So what we've got here is our video card, which is in pretty much the same state as our CPU. Now, I'm not sure how that comes off. So we've got screws on that side, which I presume is for the heatsink. Yeah, it looks to be. So how does the cover pull off? I mean, I don't want to be rough because it is not mine. So, but it looks, oh yeah, it looks like it clips on. there. No. I might have to take that one offline because can I see in there? Ah, yeah, okay, so it looks like I've got to take, there we go, got to take the heat sink off. I'll grab my shiny new tool set. So you can quite clearly see the dust on the back end of this. So it's actually screwed, so the cover's actually screwed on. So, here we go. Tutorial on how to pull apart a video card as well. So I'm probably blocking most of that with my hands, I do apologise. Okay. So this is actually in a very similar state as the yeah, okay, yeah, she's grubby. So same thing, let's just pull that dust out. I imagine we'll see some improved cooling. On the system. Also, she should be a little bit quieter, I would imagine. Should be a bit less fan noise. A, because the fan doesn't have to spin up as much to provide the same level of cooling. But also, the balance of the fan should be improved. I mean, it's quite good. I mean, the fan's quiet. So the dust hasn't caused any issue with the bearings at this stage. Put the isopropyl again. Get the area clear. Okay, so this has got a pad on it. So I will wash my hands because I just peeled that off. Can't break that natural instinct sometimes. So when I was doing some of the testing on this board to begin with, I did remove the video card just in case it was causing the issue, and there was no change, so I'm comfortable that the problem with it not booting was related to the motherboard and not the video card. So if everything goes well after this, it will start. And obviously I'm not going to show that right now because it means putting the computer back together and we'll start getting a bit long, but I will show that, or at least put a description in later on. So are we not flush? Oh yeah, we're flush there, flush there, flush there. Okay. These actually thread into metal guides, so not just into plastic. So yeah, I did make sure I had it the right way around, otherwise it might get embarrassing quickly. So the only other thing I need to clean up is I will clean the power supply. It's also quite grubby. Whoops, pay attention, Jay. It's also quite grubby. So I'll give that a bit of a sparkle. Okay, let's go around that way. And you're plugged in. No guide positionings there, so I'll just be careful here. Not sure I like that mounting, to be honest. Be nice if there was some sort of guide to help position it. As I was saying, it would be helpful if there was some sort of guide to position. I suppose I can use my eyes there. Let's try that. Try that again. There we go. Actually, I almost wonder why they have the springs there, because it's just tightening up tight anyway. It's not like it's using the springs to put tension on. So yeah, not convinced on that one. Clearly it's been working. Yeah, don't think I've introduced any bend. And again, much cleaner than what it was. So that's the graphics card clean, motherboard clean. Let's have a look at these. Right, so we are clean again. So now I've got to do the reassembly thing, clean out the power supply, clean out the case, and hopefully it goes. Thank you for watching. If you like, can you hit the like button? I'd also like a couple more subscribers. I might get the magic 10 soon. Okay, thank you. Bye.